Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and it seems like some of us haven't stopped celebrating our success of a League Cup win on Sunday afternoon. Some of us, not just including the Celtic supporters, but even the Celtic team, who've had a couple of wee sly digs at Rangers Football Club, and a meltdown which has prolonged itself over the other side of the city has made life pretty tasty for Celtic supporters the last couple of days. What a time to be a Celtic fan. Let's talk about that. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for 47,000 subscribers. We have crossed yet another landmark on the channel. We are very close to 50,000 now. Thank you for your support throughout the entirety of 2024. We've still got another couple of weeks to go, of course. I'll be here every single day until Hogmanay. And it's a good time to be here, you know? Very happy. Smiles all round. Let's hope it stays like that. Sunday was absolutely magnificent. I couldn't have wrote a better script myself and a better way to get the hopes up of Rangers supporters, only to crush them in a penalty shootout. Yes, we're still talking about it on Tuesday afternoon, because why not? Who's stopping me? Who's stopping us from celebrating this? It makes it even sweeter that the meltdown is still going on at the other side of the city. The excuse book has been brought out in full force. That means, you know, if that's allowed to happen, we should be allowed to talk about this for as long as we like. We should be allowed to celebrate it as long as we like. That's how I'm going to play it anyway. And with no midweek fixture this week, it means that I think we can afford another day on the channel talking about the success of Sunday. But listen, football is a sport that is run on morale sometimes. I think that morale is one of the most important parts of a locker room and just the sport in general. If you've not got high morale at a football club, you're going to suffer, and that's been, you know, point proven at Rangers for the last decade. But just as they seem to turn a wee bit of a corner, Celtic have set them back just a wee bit, and that is great. It's fantastic, and right now the morale couldn't be any higher at Celtic Football Club. We've seen the players out in celebration last night, which we're going to come to. We've seen the fans lauding it up and laughing and just, you know, overall joy amongst their supporters. It's been great. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Brendan Rodgers has a iron fist ruling over Glasgow, and he has done since he stepped up here the first time in 2016. It seems like no manager can get close to him, whether their name's Philippe Clement, Michael Beale, Mark Warburton, doesn't matter who they are. They can't seem to get close to Brendan Rodgers, and I love that. The Celtic team were pictured out in full celebration last night at the PDC Darts World Championship. Good on them. I'm very jealous. I wish I was there. I'm sure that Brendan's given them a couple of days off with no midweek fixture to enjoy themselves, to drink in the glory of their League Cup win, especially when things are so busy in the Christmas period. It's not like we can afford a lot of time off, and I think it's more than fair that they get these wee bonuses and enjoy themselves, considering they'll be right back to work in preparation for the weekend's game, Boxing Day's game, of course the derby around Hogmanay. Things will come in thick and fast. And you know what? I hope they enjoyed the darts last night. Cameron Carter-Vickers, he certainly enjoyed it, didn't he? Look at that. 119. 119. You were close. You know, it's Ryan 118, not 119. I'll need to change the channel name. No, I'm joking. 119. Why? Of course, Celtic have now won 119 major honours, which makes them the most successful club in Scotland. They overtake Rangers in terms of total trophies, and that long time celebrated made up mantra that Rangers had of most successful club in the world has now obliterated. It has just totally fell in front of their very eyes. Cameron Carter-Vickers keen to remind them of that at the darts, which I absolutely love. What was even better was the photographed "Bring Your Dinner" message that was left on the table. Bring your dinner, hashtag 119 was photographed lying flat on the table. Speculation as to what player was that wrote it down. Who's active on social media? That's what I wonder. Who's the one that's keeping up with all the drama? Who knows of my tweets slagging certain players, you know? I need to know this. I'm going to put my money on Greg Taylor. I think Greg's a cheeky wee boy. I think he's done that knowing what's the patter right now. But once again, just love it. You know, it's only fair, and people will get worked up about this. You know, Rangers fans will say, oh, it's pathetic, it's this, it's that. if the shoe was on the other foot and this was a Rangers player, if this was Jack Butland sitting there with a sign saying the same in retaliation to Celtic supporters, they would be lapping it up. So it's football, it's sport, it's rivalry, and that's everything I enjoy about this. So it's good to see the players out having a good time. It's good to see them having a wee dig and celebrating the 119 major honours at Celtic Football Club. That's what I mean. Morale is high at the minute. Everybody's happy. Just wish I was down there with them. I'm sure there's got to be a few people wondering what the whole bring your dinner thing even is. People who aren't active on Twitter will be wondering what that even means. Honestly, I don't even know what it means. I know where it's came from. I don't know why it's a phrase. But one of the Rangers supporters was keen to tell us to bring our dinners to Hampden on at the weekend. But the fact it went to penalty shootouts must mean that we brought starter, main course and dessert. So more than dinner was available, son. More than dinner. So yes, it's obviously been fantastic celebrating all of this and reminding Rangers their place in the pecking order. Celtic truly rule over Scottish football, truly rule over Glasgow, and truly rule over Glasgow Rangers. And that's been the reality for the past 25 years, I'm afraid. Since the turn of the millennium, Celtic have been the top dogs in this city, and Rangers have kind of held on to this whole most successful club patter in the hope that it would leave them as the top dogs. But in all honesty, it's never mattered. Even when we were behind in 2016, 2017, 2018, do you think I cared that they had more major honours? No, I cared about watching my team put them down time and time again. And it's getting to Rangers, it's getting to their supporters, because the excuse book is out. And yes, there was decisions on Sunday that probably should have went the other way, but it's not for the first time, it's certainly not for the last time. And if you think that's going to change anything about the narratives that have unfolded over the past few days of Celtic being the most successful club, of being the side who are always beating Rangers, well, I've got news to tell you. A penalty isn't going to change that. So Rangers CEO Patrick Stewart has asked the SFA for explanation over the non-penalty incident in the League Cup final. Sky Sports reported on this amongst other outlets, saying that the new CEO of Rangers, Patrick Stewart, has asked the Scottish FA for an explanation over the non-award of a penalty in the League Cup final defeat to Celtic. The Ibrox club wanted a spot kick awarded when Liam Scales brought down Václav Černý, with referee John Beaton awarding a free kick just outside the box, while video assistant Alan Muir agreed with the on-field call. Now, I spoke about this really in depth last night on the channel. We done a live stream, and if you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch it. We kind of ranted and raved about this for 10-15 minutes. Listen, Rangers have been hard done by. I'm not gonna pull any punches here. It probably should have been a penalty, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. I don't work for the SFA. I don't make the decisions. Mistakes happen, and ultimately, the amount of times I've seen Celtic hard done by with poor decisions in derby games is astronomical figures at this point. But it applies to both sides. It doesn't, as I said, it's not the first and it's not the last. And if you think that any sort of complaints to the SFA or anything is going to change here, you're in for a very torrid time following football for the next however many years. VAR has ultimately solved nothing. If anything, I think VAR has made officiating worse in this country, because decisions like this get made worse. I think that the referee can get away with it in a game on Sunday, because with the naked eye, it's hard to tell if that's in the box or not. Obviously it is. But VAR makes it worse, because VAR has the power to go, oh no, wait a minute, it actually is in the box, and they don't make the decision. But now we're seeing this anti-Rangers conspiracy peddled. We're getting Celtic are being called cheaters. Right, how can Celtic be the club cheating in this situation? Celtic aren't. It's not. Brendan Rodgers isn't sitting in Clydesdale House making the call on VAR. Peter Lawwell's not there. Dermot Desmond. None of the players are in the ear of the referees. Celtic aren't cheating. The referee, the VAR team more in specific here, have made a terrible decision, and that's that. Celtic haven't cheated. Celtic aren't on the paybooks of the SFA asking for these decisions. So all this anti-Rangers conspiracy nonsense, get it to fuck. Get rid of it. It's not a thing. And I say the same thing about the anti-Celtic conspiracy nonsense. Whenever a decision goes against Celtic in a game like this, people say, oh, it's the referees, they support Rangers, whatnot. It's not that either. The referees are just very bad at their job, and the quicker you grasp that, as a Rangers or Celtic fan, the easier your life is going to get. The referees have been put up here for the longest time. The decisions constantly get made against clubs from top to the bottom of the league. From Celtic to Ross County, right down to Kilmarnock, whoever's bottom of the table, Hearts, Hibs. Every club goes through it year after year with decisions going against them. And it's not an anti-anyone nonsense. And if you truly believe that, you're as bad as, I don't know, the Donald Trump fans who think that the election wasn't lost in 2020. You know, and if you're going to go into my comment section now to tell me that that was the case, then get yourself to fuck, because I'm not listening. That's it. It's just tinfoil hat stuff. It doesn't exist. They make mistakes. They constantly make them, and it's not because it's a certain club that's involved. I think it is fair that Rangers get given the audio of what happened. I understand that. If I was a Celtic fan and it happened to us, I'd be asking for the same thing. I'd want the explanation as to how it happened and the process that unfurled. But it's not going to change anything now. Nothing's going to happen. We're not going to see Celtic stripped of the League Cup. I've seen some Rangers fans in the Super Scoreboard last night saying that the game should be replayed. Get yourself so far to fuck. That's all I can say. You know, it's done. It is what it is. Decisions will happen. Celtic were hard done by a few decisions in the game as well. It's just football. It's sport. And human error or whatnot takes place and things happen. If you're not used to it by now, you never be. And if you really feel like this is what cost Rangers a trophy at the weekend, listen, we have gone through 10 years of Celtic absolutely dominating Rangers on and off the park. One trophy wouldn't have made a difference to Celtic at the end of the day. And if that's what you need to win trophies, then that's part of the problem. If you need these decisions to go the other way for your team to win trophies, Rangers are miles behind Celtic, and that's that. And dodgy decisions aren't going to be what wins you titles. Getting a better team, getting a better manager, and ultimately catching us is what will win you titles, win you trophies, not referee decisions. So it's a lot deeper than what you think it is. Right, that's us for today. Not a huge news day, just more ranting if anything, and more celebrating if anything. I'm loving it. Great. Looking forward to Celtic being back at the weekend, you know? I really am. Anyway, if you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.